Dr. Landovitz, we had an excellent question from one of our community cars here tonight. Will you be studying, or will anyone be studying cabotegravir in straight men in serodiscordant couples? Serodiscordant, for those of you who don't know, means one person is HIV positive and the other person is HIV negative.
So it's a great question. I'm not aware of any studies that are specifically looking at that. What I do know is the study that was done in gay men is going to look very carefully at people who described only insertive sexual behavior versus only receptive sexual behavior. That will inform a little bit about the efficacy for insertive partners that you would assume would apply also to insertive vaginal intercourse. So I think people are planning to extrapolate it from that. I'm not aware of any studies that are planned like you described, although that certainly would be an interesting study.
Thank you. Dr. Chu, this question is for you. You use the term long haulers. Can you define that a little bit more for our audience? Does that mean someone who's had COVID for 8 weeks, 2 months, 5 months?
Well, that's actually a pretty new term. And the whole syndrome is still really being explored. And so I am not aware of any real definition for the long haulers as far as duration of symptoms.
The next question is for Dr. Dar. Dr. Dar, can people who are HIV positive, can they participate in COVID vaccine studies?
Yeah, great. Thanks so much for asking. I should have mentioned it. Absolutely. The AstraZeneca vaccine, which is currently enrolling. So the Pfizer vaccine is essentially fully enrolled. The Moderna vaccine, which enrolled at the Vine Street site, is fully enrolled. The AstraZeneca vaccine, now enrolling, does allow people with HIV who are well controlled and have good CD4 counts to indeed be participants. And I think it's really important that, for the most part, the vaccine trials have been quite inclusive.
Terrific. Actually, that's definitely important for a lot of our audience members. Another question for Dr. Dar. Do you think that the speed at which research is going to create a COVID vaccine, do you think, what effect will that have on developing vaccines for other diseases, either that are yet unknown, pardon me, my lips are chattering, literally, it's so cold, or for a disease like HIV?
Yeah, what a great question. Again, the reality is the COVID vaccine effort has benefited from what came before it. And all of these platforms were really developed for other viruses, but never truly tested like it is being tested now. And assuming the Pfizer data pans out as we expect it will, and we think that will be followed by more positive results from the other trials, we really will have definitively proven that these platforms that can easily be adapted to other viruses when they emerge are very effective strategies to move things forward quickly. So everybody wins from science, whether it's what we're trying to work on now or everything we'll be working on in the future. I wish I could be more positive about the potential role in an HIV vaccine. Some of these have already been studied in HIV vaccines along the way. But there is more research coming, and I think there's still reason to be optimistic, but the HIV vaccine has been a huge challenge.
It certainly has. By the way, I want that on a T-shirt. Everyone wins with science. So if anyone's interested in getting me a Christmas gift, let's all do a GoFundMe to create a T-shirt for that. Dr. Landovitz, in terms of 211 dosing for PrEP, has that been put before the FDA for approval?
No, it's a great question. It hasn't. And there really isn't a lot of motivation to do it because their data to support it, people are prescribing it, and there aren't any barriers to insurers paying for it. So really the only thing that we're missing is the CDC to sort of catch up on guidelines that endorse it. And they've just been busy with other things and other challenges. And you can honk for that. But I do think that CDC guidelines need updating. As I mentioned, IAS USA guidelines do endorse it. The WHO guidelines do endorse it. There are a number of cities that have come out specifically endorsing it, San Francisco and New York in particular, and I would not be shocked to see LA County DHSP endorsing it soon also. It does work, and it is a valid way to take PrEP for gay men.
Thank you. Dr. Chu, one last question for you. Is there a specific reason why the drug that you're looking at in your study is being administered intravenously?
Well, it was the first route evaluated, really. So all the preclinical or animal data and then the first in human data were studied using this route. It certainly gets high levels very quickly. And so it seemed the best approach, I'm sure. But we've discussed it's not practical. I think everyone is fully aware of that. And so these other approaches, injections, injection routes are being explored in this very rapid fashion as well.
Great, thank you so much. I just received a lovely text off the text line. Thank you to all of us for going above and beyond to present for us. And the question is, how can we, meaning all of the community cars who are here, how can we support the UCLA health clinical trial efforts?
Well, I think the short answer is you are supporting those efforts by being here tonight, so thank you, first of all. Seriously, we're incredibly grateful to you all. These are scary times, and it was incredibly courageous of you all to come out, even in this maximally safe environment, and be here with us tonight. So thank you. From the bottom of our pancreas. That's like from our hearts, but deeper? Okay, never mind. Tough audience. Okay. But seriously, the way you can help the most is take the information that you learned tonight back to your friends, your communities, your coworkers, and talk about it. Not necessarily the details, but let them know where they can find more information, and let them know that this stuff is going on. It's not for everyone. Some people are going to be more interested, some people aren't, and that's great. But the more you know, hashtag, right? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm just going to leave us with finish up with a couple of closing remarks. We're so grateful that you guys came out tonight. Like Dr. Landovich said, we do thank you from the bottom of our pancreases, our spleens, our gallbladders. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope you're leaving tonight armed with a lot of information, and I hope you're also armed with hope. Hope being that we will end both the HIV and the COVID epidemics. Thank you so much for being a great audience, for interacting, for texting, for honking, for flashing your lights. I miss human interaction, and I hope that we can gather together very soon outside our cars where we can hug, shake hands, and actually clap. Until then, please be safe, stay well, mask and social distance, and have a terrific rest of your Tuesday night. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you to our amazing speakers. Lights and honking, please.